of motorsports, 70 miles per hour is nothing special. As a matter of fact, many people probably find it difficult to stay awake doing 70 on a highway, and in state with higher speed limit, you probably get plenty of angry high beams. Get out of the way! If that's how fast you drive. But on a self-balancing electric unicycle where the only thing keeping you away from certain death is a single wheel and questionable Chinese software, that 70 miles is the very definition of excitement, and some would argue insanity. Every single electric unicycle company wants the bragging right for building the most powerful and fastest EUC ever, and the veteran Leaperkim Oryx is the latest entrant into the round of the Ultra Wheel. And this week, I'm gonna ride it and see how fast it can really go. Roll the intro.
Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and we'll be BFF forever.
First, a quick shout out to Rob at Next Gen Mobility for sending me this Leaperkim Oryx for review purposes, but as usual, my strange opinions are strictly my own. And crazy is what the Oryx is all about. It is a massive, heavy-ass, and very expensive electric unicycle built for one single purpose, and that is to go very and very fast.
70 miles per hour is the pace set by the current gen speed champ, the Bigo GT Pro, and the Panther, which was just 0.5 miles per hour off, unsurprising for a pair of wheels that share the same engineering, electrical system, motor, and more importantly, were built by Bigo,
the arch nemesis of veteran Leaperkim, founder of which not only used to work for Bigo, they're also blood relative. And I'll spare you the nasty detail, however, let's just say that both sides have a lot riding on who produced the most powerful and fastest electric unicycle. And why is this important? No sane person would go that fast, so what is even the point?
Well, that was what they said of a motorcycle 100 years ago. In 1914, the Pope Model L, produced by the Pope Manufacturing Company of Westfield, Massachusetts, with a 1000cc V-twin engine with innovations such as overhead valves, multi-speed transmission, and a chain drive, was the fastest motorcycle in the world, offering the outrageous top speed of, that's right, 70 miles per hour.
Since then, motorcycles have gotten, shall we say, a wee bit faster. And theoretically, there are no physical limitations that would prevent an electric unicycle from attending the same insane speed in time and with better technology. Which brings us to my review of the Leaperkim Oryx. As usual, I'm going to rate the wheel based on 5 different criteria, and they are design, convenience, ride quality, performance, and finally value, all on a scale of 1 to 5. And despite the heavy emphasis on performance, design is actually Leaperkim's secret sauce. Unlike Bigo and their multiple releases, Leaperkim builds just a single wheel a year, and the greater amount of care and attention can be seen in the many subtle refinements made over the years, primarily on the ergonomic of how to accommodate a wheel this massive to an average sized guy. For instance, Leaperkim wheels remain the only EUC that comes with this mechanically fastened toe clip, which offer improved lock-in as well as greater leverage to help you control this massive wheel.
Similar Velcro attach option like the power knobs is nice, but often peel with the greater amount of force required for more aggressive riding. And there's nothing worse than for it to do so when you have all your weight on the thing at 70 miles per hour.
And the latest iteration is better shaped to allow for steeper body leans, which is what you'll need if you want to pull maximum performance out of this wheel. And there are many other small changes like this fold-up kickstand that conveniently get out of way for off-road riding, and this new adjustable headlamp unit which allow you to see where it is you're going without blinding everyone else.
But in general, the update remains subtle, and the Oryx pretty much look like a larger Sherman L or giant links. It's a look that we all grown accustomed to, but it breaks no new ground.
Plus, you could hardly describe something that weighs almost as much as a bank vault as convenient, so the Oryx earns a 3 out of 5 for design and convenience.
performance.
But that is not why you put up with Oryx's very heavy weight or its very high price. You do so under the assumption that Leaperkim will deliver on a premium build, incredible performance, and a ride as smooth as banana cream cheese.
That is smooth.
And the Oryx absolutely crushed 2 out of 3 goes here, with a waterproof, lightweight magnesium build that feels like it's carved out of a singular block of alloy that maximizes wheel rigidity, and combined with the Gen 4 Fast A suspension with a floating piston design, offering one of the most responsive and supple ride of any UC have ever rode.
But the true brilliance of this wheel is how all of those separate components are combined and tuned to deliver a ride quality that you would not believe is possible for a wheel as big and as heavy as the Oryx. No easy task considering how little we know of the dynamic of an electric unicycle with just a single wheel as being previously unimaginable. Wheel size, ergonomic, weight, power, shape, tire profile, software tuning all comes into play. And it takes an immense amount of engineering know-how and hundreds if not thousands of hours of ride tests to produce an agile but yet stable wheel that is predictable yet at the same time fun to ride.
The 4200 watt motor was custom designed and tuned for lower end torque, and with its greater output, able to power the Oryx and produce sound impressive acceleration and braking performances despite its refrigerator-like weight. It's also able to outperform its main competitor, the big old Panther, despite the 20% power deficit.
But the true joy of riding this wheel comes from the incredible gyroscopic force generated by its huge tire and motor assembly, which not only give you an incredible amount of stability at speed, but also a momentum-based, carb-centric ride style that I had always loved, going back to the original 22-inch Godway Monster. And the Oryx earns a 4.5 out of 5 for a cohesive and refined big wheel riding experience. But fair warning that it will take a good bit more core strength and endurance to ride and control this massive wheel. I can actually feel my legs shaking a bit from the fatigue of riding this. Next, let's talk about performance. But in order to truly push the limit of what the Oryx is capable of, it's time to take it out of the confines of a crowded and congested city and into the open, twisty roads of these suburbs, where it has room to stretch its very long legs.
As mentioned on my Panther review, the primary advantage of a larger wheel EUC are the additional stability they offer at speed, and with larger 22 to 24 inch wheels, dynamic stability is possible for speed all the way up to 70 miles per hour and beyond, in ideal condition that is. And that last caveat is crucial since power requirement to maintain self-balancing, as in what is actually keeping the rider up and rolling, varies depending on a wide range of factors like terrain, rider weight, wind condition, battery voltage, and a bunch of other things.
The important thing to know here is that it's drawing from the same limited pool of motor power output as it takes for acceleration and pushing the wheel up to whatever insane speed that an unhinged individual like me enjoys.
In comparing to the Panther, the 20% deficit in motor power the Oryx have with its 4.2 kilowatt motor quickly become a liability once you get up to the 50 miles per hour range. The number to track here is the motor reserve percentage. If this number ever reaches 0, it means motor cutoff and crash and burn for me. But even at 20 to 30%, there will be a noticeable softening of the self-balancing pushback as more of the motor power is diverted just to maintain speed. And past the 20% mark, even small things like bumping the road or stiff headwind can cause voltage to spike, and for that reserve to drop to 0 and you and your ass on the asphalt. In my outdoor run, I peak around 55 miles per hour with roughly 20% reserve remain, and that is where I think sensible riders should likely stop. And as much as I enjoy riding the Oryx, in my humble opinion, more power is needed. It isn't underpowered by any means, since 55 to 60 miles per hour is still insanely fast, but its incredibly balanced and stable ride feel really begs for even more power and come up short when compared to the Panther, which is why despite all its incredible speed and power, the Oryx only gets a 3.5 out of 5 for performance. Finally, let's talk about value.
The Leaperkim Oryx is a beautifully built, massively sized and powerful wheel, and it absolutely looks and rides like something that is worth its admittingly very high price. But it is not as fast as the big old Panther, and it is also finely tuned and balanced and offer one of the best ride of any large wheel electric unicycle ever, even at low speed where their greater weight had traditionally been a problem. But it is still not as fast as the Panther, and that is the biggest question about the Oryx. Does it matter that it isn't a 70 miles per hour capable wheel, and how much does the bragging rights of owning the fastest electric unicycle ever matters to you? It doesn't for me, and the Oryx earns a 5 out of 5 for value.
But what about you? Does it matter that the huge speed wheel that you pay a premium price for isn't actually capable of those insane speeds, which you will likely never use? Well, speak up, that's what the comment section below is for. And you know what? Aha! I somehow managed to trick you into wasting another 15 minutes of your life, but I hope you enjoyed it. Shout out to my supporter on Patreon. Please check out the link in the video description below if you enjoy and like to support my work. And as always, as much as we all love electric unicycle, the only way for us to get better wheel is to grow as a community. So tell your friend, teach them how to ride, and get them hooked. Until the next video, thank you.